Hello, and welcome to this special little video addressing some of the issues that came up with the Chapter 1 quiz in biopsychology. Now, interestingly enough, semester to semester, sometimes this quiz is problematic and sometimes it's not. And it's, of course, of no surprise to me that this can be a problematic quiz to get your head wrapped around. My exclamation of wow and this was a disaster was not meant in any way other than if I had said that live to you, I would have been laughing at the time. So it was not any condemnation of this group. About half the class did really well on it, but the other half of the class really, it was way off. So when something like that happens in a class, then the only presumption I can make is either some individuals read and understood the questions and some people didn't, or there was something inherent in the explanation of the assignment that led half the class to do the wrong thing. So that's on me. So I'm going to take responsibility for that and make an attempt to explain these concepts a little bit better and help you do better on the next time you try this assignment. Now, the key to understanding biopsychology is to recognize that it's a discipline of thinking. Right at the beginning of the textbook, particularly if you're reading the textbook, you will see that the explanation of biopsychology is to try and describe all of the human experience in a biological frame. So therefore, you're putting on biology glasses, and that's all you're going to see. That's all you're looking for. You're not looking. It's blinders, really, to any other sort of explanations. With that goal in mind, the field of biopsychology has 4 ways of doing that. Now, these are, call them perspectives, that can be used to create biological explanations for what we're looking at. So that in the course book, I actually had, it says this is on page 27, says biological explanations. In the next version, I've actually made that bigger to show that those biological explanations is not, that's the category, and then there's 4 kinds of that: physiological, ontological, ontogenetic, evolutionary, and functional. So each one of those 4, all of them are biological explanations. Again, I think that might have been unclear. Now, the second part that I think may have been unclear, certainly in the answers, was I'm actually asking you to explain a behavior from each one of these perspectives. And that behavior is recalling a memory. I'm asking you to explain the action that people can take for remembering something. That behavior itself, that's a quantifiable behavior. We use it all the time when we're taking a test and we realize I need to remember something, so I go into the activity within my mind of looking at related cues, understanding, trying to remember what I've learned before, getting that memory and bringing it back, and then putting the right answer down. And the behavior that I'm specifically looking at is that action. Can we explain that biologically? Yes, we can. We can explain it from each one of these 4 perspectives. So not to give any answers away, but the physiological explanation would focus on the physiology of memory, the brain parts that are involved in memory, the chemicals that are involved in memory. So you look up the structures of the brain that are related to memory, and you describe those. And you're saying memory, recalling a memory involves these structures in the brain, these physiological structures, and that's a biological explanation of memory. The ontogenetic one is both a result of gene expression, nutrition, but also experiences. So when we're trying to explain those things, we explain genetics, and that also brings in the physiological. So the ability to remember things and the structures passed on from generation to generation, we can even say that some people have really good memory and they can recall all kinds of things, and we may get that as a genetic inheritance. At the same time, we might have experiences in early life that have taught us to activate these memory systems that we have, to activate the physiology, and they've been beneficial to us. In early life, we had to remember things like where our toys were, and I'm saying too much. Evolutionary. This is the easy one. Being able to remember things gave us an advantage. Now think about, and this is so wrong, but two people from way back, let's call them cave people, and one person was able to remember where the water is. The other person was not. Which one lived to have more children and pass that on to the next of kin? Certainly, the one who could remember where the water was the one who had the advantage. And then finally, the functional explanation. Why is it useful to us? Why is it good for me to remember things? Remember, bring this back to biology. In what ways does remembering things allow me to survive and function? Now, stay away from the social reasons, the social motivations, like it's really good that I can remember things so that I can survive that midterm test. That's different than I can remember where the water is, and that allows me to give my body fluids and my body can continue to survive. Therefore, I have memories to allow me to survive, and I can recall those memories to allow me to survive. This is a game in many ways, a creative way of explaining one behavior in 4 different ways. It's a challenge because some behaviors lend themselves to one or the other. Some behaviors, it's very clear about which one is the easiest one to use. I'm challenging you to take one behavior and explain it in 4 ways. So the behavior is recalling a memory. That's what you're explaining, the existence of that behavior, and you're taking those 4 different pathways on it. So I hope this has been a little bit, more on target to what you need to know to answer that question better. I know some people have taken a second attempt, and if you want me to go in, I'm going to leave this to you. If you want me to go in and reset that second attempt so you can do it again, you have to get in touch with me and request that. I'm not going to automatically go in there because some people got like an 80 or something like that. Many of you have to retake this test because you got extremely low scores on this. You don't have to take this test again. You can watch this video and say, I'm good with whatever grade I got. I need to move on. It's just one quiz. But I know that there was, for a first quiz and get that kind of grade, it's kind of frustrating. And I wanted to make sure that you could have the best chance for success on that first quiz and give you confidence for the rest of the course. It's one of the tougher questions right at the beginning, foundational sort of stuff for the study of biopsychology. So I hope that helps. Please get in touch with me if you want me to delete your second attempt, and you can go in and retake this quiz, and I'll be keeping an eye on it this week and grade it when it comes up on my list of things to grade. So that's it for now. Have a great time. Have a great time with this material, and good luck on that test. You take care.